Welcome to the Accessibility Solutions Podcast, hosted by Linda Hunt, an award-winning accessibility consultant, speaker, and author. With over 30 years experience in senior management roles and a deep passion for creating inclusive environments, Linda brings us unmatched expertise and credibility to our discussions. Join us as we explore transformative power of accessibility and inclusion in today's world. Through captivating conversations, Linda shares her wealth of knowledge, provides practical solutions, and sheds light on the latest trends and advancements in the field. Whether you're a business owner or a disability advocate or simply curious about the world of accessibility, this podcast is your go-to resource. Get ready to unlock new perspectives, break down barriers, and embark on a journey of empowerment. Are you ready to create a more inclusive world? Let's begin. Welcome to the Accessibility Solutions Podcast.
We're talking with Saylor Cooper today, and Saylor is a guest on our podcast. And Saylor's going to talk about his disability and how he encounters barriers in his life and how businesses could certainly improve their bottom line by being more accessible to Saylor. So Saylor, I'm going to let you take it away, and you can tell us about your disability and the barriers that you encounter, and we will, kind of go from there in our discussion.
All right, Linda. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. Yeah, my name's Saylor Cooper. I'm also a podcaster. I'm a business owner starting to build my business. It takes time, but I'm figuring it out. But yes, as you mentioned, I do have a disability. I am blind. And of course, being blind, I do face a lot of challenges and barriers. And I know I have to figure out a way to overcome them. One of the biggest problems that the blind population are facing is employment. Very difficult for us to find employment for various reasons. A lot of it is lack of education. Employers don't understand and don't believe that we're capable when indeed we truly are. And therefore, there's a lot of unnecessary discrimination that goes on. And I believe there just needs to be more education and just more improvements in that area.
Yes, and I can really speak to that. I mean, we are currently facing a labor shortage for across the board. So businesses are seeking employees because they need to be able to produce their products or keep their restaurants open or keep their phone lines active or whatever. And they don't have employees to be able to do that. And yet if they just considered the benefits of hiring persons with disabilities,
absolutely,
to fill that gap in the labor market, then the labor shortage would not be nearly as tight as it is right now. And that's
for sure.
That's certainly one of the things that Accessibility Solutions, when we're dealing with businesses, we promote inclusive hiring practices and how businesses can improve their bottom line by hiring persons with disabilities. It's as you said, a win-win, because persons with disabilities are unfairly discriminated against in the employment market, and yet persons with disabilities have so much to offer a potential employer.
Yes. I mean, they may have to do things slightly different, but it doesn't mean they don't have any strengths, any weaknesses or anything. In fact, some can do even better than the average person.
Yes, I personally myself know a blind lawyer. I know a blind accountant. I mean, with technology, there are ways for persons with disabilities, whether it be blind, whether it be deaf, or me, I have a physical disability, but there are certainly ways for people with disabilities to be actively involved in the workforce.
For sure, yeah.
Which would be, as I said, a win-win for everyone. And the case of businesses would really improve their bottom line if they were able to, like you mentioned, it's education. So there's that attitudinal barrier that somehow persons with disabilities would not be effective employees within an organization. And that's something that really a myth that really needs to be dispelled, because that is not at all the truth.
No, it's not the truth at all. Because I've been turned down for various jobs, and in fact, earlier in June, I was wrongfully terminated from a part-time job because they just weren't willing to accommodate me in providing my equipment whenever I could do the job, and which is why I'm starting my own business if someone else doesn't want to hire me. However, fortunately, I do have a part-time job making sales calls, making appointments for different clients and companies. And the owner, in fact, he hires mostly blind people, and he started this company largely because my supervisor who I'm working with, she tried to work at another company that operates very similarly, and she was discriminated. So the owner thought, okay, I'll start a company myself. And so I'm thankful to have at least something part-time, a side gig for now, developing my business, which is great.
And I'm glad to hear that you're also trying out entrepreneurship.
You bet, yeah.
That's also an area that I've done some work in over the years, getting people with disabilities employed through self-employment.
Oh,
the services that they can offer. So Saylor, we're just going to wrap up, but I think our message is clear that both you and I agree that there are significant barriers to persons with disabilities, and that businesses can improve their bottom line by being able to not only employ persons with disabilities, but also ensure that their business is able to serve people with disabilities and be welcoming to people with disabilities.
Yeah.
We do have spending power, and accessibility is good for business. It opens yourself up to 22% of the population that has a disability. If your business is able to be welcoming to people with disabilities, then that's going to improve your business bottom line.
And it showed that not only I want to talk employment, I mean, we face several barriers like not having access to transportation. Of course, we don't drive yet. Hopefully the self-driving cars, it's a work in progress, but hopefully we're going to get there.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Saylor. And we will wrap up there. And I want to thank our listeners for joining us this week. Saylor's contact information, if you'd like to reach out to him, is available in the show notes. And we will talk to you again next week. Cheers.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us on the Accessibility Solutions podcast hosted by Linda Hunt. We hope these discussions have inspired you and provided valuable insights into the world of accessibility and inclusion. If you're ready to take the next steps in creating an accessible and inclusive environment, we invite you to book a personalized accessibility solutions consultation with Linda. As an experienced accessibility consultant, Linda will work closely with you to develop innovative solutions tailored to your unique needs and challenges. Together, you'll navigate the complexities of accessibility regulations, explore inclusive design principles, and implement practical strategies to ensure equal access for all. Don't miss this opportunity to make a real difference. Visit our website at solutions4accessibility.com, and that's the number 4. So solutions4accessibility.com. Schedule your consultation today. Let's transform your space into an inclusive and welcoming environment for everyone. Thanks again for listening to the Accessibility Solutions podcast. Stay tuned for more empowering episodes as we continue our journey towards a more accessible world.